I've got a cat next to me meowing. Okay, right now I'm in the far west of Poland, travelling back home later. I've got a 6-hour train journey ahead. But before that, I wanted to make a video about why nice guys believe that they are morally right. Why they think that they are different from other men. That they think they're in the noble minority. And that belief is something they hold on to so tightly. Like, you look at Will Smith. He was so faithful to his narcissistic, washed up disaster of a wife when he had Margot Robbie throwing herself at him. And he could have so much better relationships than he has, and yet he's so faithful to someone who treats him so badly. Why is this? Why do simps and nice guys hold on so much? Well, as someone who was a nice guy and someone who was a simp for most of his life, it's because you don't see any other way. You see the world as your happiness can only come from outside. Because so much of your upbringing was based on how, say, your mother felt. You were told not to be like your father, to not be like those other men, and then you internalize that. You believe that there's something wrong with being a man, so you need to filter yourself, you need to put a mask on, and eventually the mask gets so tight that you can't tell the difference between that and your true self. Your true self gets buried under layers and layers of conditioning. You learn to hide your needs because you have experienced that your needs weren't met when you asked for them, going back to your earliest childhood. And so you instead take on these covert contracts. You believe that you have to influence your way into someone choosing you. You sacrifice, and you make many sacrifices. They never seem to get rewarded, and that's the point at which you become resentful. That's the point at which you think, I've done my side of the bargain, why won't you do yours? But really, there never really was a contract. People can't have contracts that they don't know about. And this is why so many nice guys label themselves as things like male feminists, because they want to be direct with women, they want to have attention from women, but they're just afraid of it. They think that that's only what bad people do. It's funny that very often sexual harassment gets thrown together with just approaching a woman on the street and politely starting a conversation with her, as if they're anything like the same thing. Whereas actually the men who are doing sexual harassment do it because they don't believe that a woman would want to talk to them if they were their true self. They don't feel that as a man it's possible to engage with a woman as another human being. And so anyone who does that must be doing it out of harassment, because that's the only alternative. You either get chosen randomly, purely by showing what a good boy you are, or you harass. There's no asking, there's no realizing that you're an adult and she's an adult and you two can engage in conversation. And so through this, the nice guy or simp believe that they're living for others. They make a virtue out of their perceived only choice. They think, well, everyone values something, everyone chases for something. I value other people's happiness, so I'm a good person. And yet, eventually, it's revealed that they're not such a good person. They have outbursts of anger.
Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. All right? Oh, wow, dude.
Yes.
It was a G.I. Jane jump.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
I'm going to, okay?
Very often, in trying to protect women from themselves, because they don't really believe in women's moral agency, they kind of see women as permanent damsels in distress that need to be rescued. And so they never walk away from a woman, because they always believe that she is able to be rescued. Because that's what they wanted to do from the time they were little boys. They saw their mother in need, they saw maybe their father not living up to that need, and so they felt like, wait, I'm going to be different. I'm going to be the one that protects women. And ultimately, as a nice guy, all women are mommy. all women are someone that you live and die for. And that's why they're so faithful. They're as faithful as a child is to their mother, because they haven't left that stage. Not really. They also really dread loneliness in the same way that a child who is afraid of being abandoned by its parents dreads loneliness. They would rather stick with an abusive person than to be on their own, because then they're confronted with all the fears that they're not worthy of love, and that this person is my only hope of being loved. Honestly, I think Will Smith doesn't believe that anyone but Jada would love him. Even though he's got thousands of women throwing themselves at him, and he could have, pretty much any woman he wanted. He's rich, he's tall, he's good looking. Fundamentally, he's a good man. And yet he's sacrificing it all for someone who doesn't even appreciate him. The way out of this is long and complex. It's not something I can cover in a video. The book No More Mr. Nice Guy by Dr. Robert Glover does a very good job of it. And yeah, it's something that many men need coaching and therapy on. So I don't propose to give all the answers right now, but I hope that maybe this video puts some information out there that people might recognize. Oh, hold on, I've got this thing in me. And it feels like crap to realize that you are this sort of person. But if you can accept that nightmare, then you can make the start of changing it and becoming someone who is actually your authentic true self and not what you thought you had to be for others. Anyway, I hope this video is helpful to someone. Thanks very much for listening.